All right, Kylie, first off, a lot of these interviews we get to know the student athletes, and you're from the high country outside of Boone, North Carolina, and Newland, North Carolina. What was it like growing up there?
Cold, not great training conditions, but it's fun and it mentally prepares you for a lot of other aspects of track. So,
How about getting here to Liberty? Is there a story behind kind of how the two of you found each other?
my parents told me about Liberty and I was like, okay, I'll go for it. And I contacted Coach Bingham, who was here at the time. And I was in contact with him and Coach Tolsma, and then it just went from there. I came on a visit, loved it, and here I am.
Now, that was before the indoor facility got built. What is it like now training in this just majestic facility?
It's amazing. We have literally everything we need, which is awesome. And, you know, we can step outside if we need to go throw javelin because we have great areas to throw, or we can come inside if the weather's bad or any bad conditions that we might be facing. So,
How about your high school career and growing up wanting to be a track athlete? How did you get into track and field?
I did track in middle school as a lot of other sports. But I decided that to go the furthest in college, it would be through track. So that's how I made the decision, and I love it.
A lot of student athletes focus on one particular type of event, but you kind of run the gamut. You do a little bit of everything. How does an athlete transition into a pentathlon, a heptathlon, those types of things?
You just have to take it one event at a time. So in practice, we do multiple events. So we practice how we're going to compete. And I think it's really good for us because we can just do, okay, I'm going to do long jump, and now once we're done with long jump, you move on and you're doing high jump now. So you just have to focus on what you're working at the time.
Is there a particular event you enjoy the best?
The 800 is my favorite this year, but I do love high jumping and hurdling.
So this year, it makes me believe that it changes year to year?
Doesn't always, but when you want to get better at an event, you should make it your favorite one.
Now, you PR'd over the weekend in the pentathlon. We hear about athletes being in the zone. What was it like going into that meet? Do you remember the day and kind of what it felt like for you? And then as you kind of got into the events, take me inside the mindset of what that day was like for you.
So usually when I go into multis, I just want to relax and have some fun because if you stress yourself out the entire time, you're probably not going to perform well. So you just build connections with other girls that are competing. That's really, really helpful. So when I get to each event, I think about specific things that I've worked on or that I need to work on, and I do those things, and I just take it one event at a time. Honestly, throughout the process of the day, I didn't know how my points were racking up. I just do what I want to do and then do what I can do and just see how the points stack together at the end.
That was kind of bring me into my next question as far as, okay, you tally these points, the next event, are you thinking, okay, I need to get this so I can obtain this, or do you or is it going into the last event that you kind of figure out, okay, not to put pressure on yourself, but this is what I need to do to win this event or kind of come out on top?
Yeah, so we talk with Coach Tolsma beforehand. He sets goals for us about what he thinks we're capable of scoring and the different marks that he thinks we can hit. And so we have those goals in our mind. We don't always vocalize them, but especially towards the end of the day when you get to your last event, your second to last event, Coach Tolsma will more be like, okay, if you jump this or if you run this, you're going to get this many points. So it just makes you aware of what you can do.
Yeah, Coach does a good job kind of bouncing around event to event, making sure that he's paying attention, kind of giving everybody some love. And there's a lot of student athletes that run track and field that he has to give that to, but he does a good job with that. All right, final thought here. Away from the track, study-wise, what are you into? Once track's over with, do you have a career down the way you'd like to kind of dive into?
So I'm exercise science, pre-professional. I'm looking at being a strength and conditioning coach. I'd love to do that. I am hoping to work with Coach Shelton and our strength coach, Coach Mike Sum. They do a great job, and I think it'd be great to do that. I love college athletics. I've been around it my whole life, so I'd love to stay in college athletics.
I always say final thought. There's always a follow-up to the final thought. Being a Liberty student athlete, if this was kind of a marketing piece for those fans tuning in, maybe some potential student athletes that say, hey, what is Liberty about? To you, what does Liberty mean? Going to school here, following your walk with Christ, and what is it like to be a student athlete here, and why is it beneficial for those to kind of look into coming to Liberty?
So they train champions for Christ here, which is awesome. And how they do that is not through just all the facilities we have and the staff that works here that love the Lord, but through how they act, how your teammates act, how your teachers act towards you. And so all of those together, they really just do a great job of showing Christ. And I think that's probably one of the greatest things about being here.